Answer me a question without Googling. What is the deadliest region for terrorist attacks on this entire planet? Most likely you won't know that. I myself did not know. Hopefully this video will answer that question. On September 26, Bill Maher in his HBO show said something very explosive that rattled the politics of a major country in Africa.
But they are systematically killing the Christians in Nigeria. They've killed over 100,000 since 2009. They've burned 18,000 churches. This is so much more. These are the Islamists, Boko Haram. This is so much more of a genocide attempt than what is going on in Gaza. They are literally attempting to wipe out the Christian population of an entire country. Where are the kids protesting this?
He condemned the media silence on the genocide attempt of Christians in Nigeria. Bill Maher is not the only one.
President Trump also weighed in with his usual rhetoric.
US Senator from Texas, Ted Cruz, raised the issue of massacre of Christians in Nigeria. Not only that, he also introduced legislation to sanction Nigerian government officials and perpetrators who are directly involved. Though Senator Cruz has a strong evangelical Christian voter base that he has to cater to, but Bill Maher is famous for his criticism of organized religion. He called it not only stupid and dangerous, but also a bureaucracy between man and God. Maher's criticism of the media silence echoed in Nigerian echelons. Nigerian President's senior assistant Gimba Kakanda lambasted Maher's Christian genocide claim in an article published in Qatari mouthpiece Al Jazeera. He basically claimed that Nigeria is being targeted via propaganda for raising its voice or taking a stance on genocide in Gaza. He also said most victims of terror groups are Muslims, a stark example of Muslim on Muslim violence. I simply don't understand this logic. In the Second World War, Nazis killed more non-Jewish people than Jews. But that doesn't mean that Jews were not wiped out through the Holocaust. The same applies to Hindus in Bangladesh 1971 genocide. I don't know where Al Jazeera finds these people to interview. During last year's anti-Hindu violence in Bangladesh, it featured a man claiming to be the leader of the Hindu community who denied any attacks. The same man later showed up at a far-right Jamaat-e-Islami rally praising the party.
এটা প্রচলিত যে রাজনৈতিক দলগুলো সেই দলগুলোর মতো জামাত-ইসলামী না। জামাত-ইসলামের আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি যে জনগণের খেদমতকারী একটি দল।
Following the similar pattern, Abimbola Ayuba, director of Christian Association of Nigeria, tried to whitewash the sectarian atrocities with a feel-good harmony remark. Bullets don't look for a Christian or spare a Muslim. Well, bullets don't, but the finger that pulls the trigger surely does. Let's understand the devil as we look into the details. Nigeria, an African country, has 242 million people. Though Christians make up roughly 48% of the country itself is very divided among communal lines. The Christian South and the overwhelmingly Muslim North. An extensive Gallup poll in 2019 also shows that this divide is not just geographical but also deeply political and ideological. The Observatory for Religious Freedom in Africa, an independent research organization dedicated to documenting religious persecution across the African continent, published extensive data collected meticulously over 4 years. The data indicates one of the most systematic campaigns of religious violence in modern African history. From 2019 to 2023, among 30,880 civilians killed, 16,769 were Christians and 6,235 were Muslims. Among the 21,532 civilians abducted, 11,185 were Christians and 7,899 were Muslims. Looking at the numbers, the ratio of Christians to Muslims killed was 2.7 to 1. The ratio of Christians to Muslims abducted was 1.4 to 1. But when you take into account the relative sizes of the Christian and Muslim populations within different states and geographical locations, the ratio of Christians to Muslims killed increases 6.5 to 1, and the ratio of Christians to Muslims abducted raises 5.1 to 1. It means that if you are a Christian in Nigeria, you are 6.5 times more likely to be killed than if you were a Muslim, and 5 times more likely to be abducted. These crimes are more sinister than just religiously motivated killings and abductions. ORFA's data shows that violence peaked between April and June, the heart of Nigeria's farming season. This is when the farmers, predominantly Christians, must plant their crops or face starvation. It's when they are most vulnerable, focused on hunger rather than security, and that's when they are hunted, their land seized, their villages wiped out.
Please, we need help. We need help. We need security help. We need everybody's help. Please pray for us. This is Oasis Church in Kwasna, Wangu local government.
Merciless ransom put them under heavy debt, leading to economic destruction and eventually forced displacement. ORFA used a term also notorious in my native land Bangladesh: land grabbing. Following the very same script, Nigerian officials termed the conflict as mere land disputes or a simpleton local farmer herdsman crisis. Even the recent attack on the thief community of Yelwata in Benue State, which left 100 villagers dead, was brushed off as just another farmer versus herdsman conflict. But if it's only about land or resources, why destroy churches? Sometimes it feels like Nigeria and Bangladesh are copying from the exact same script. Here is something even more alarming. The deadlier the massacres get, the less the security forces seem to fight back. The number of civilians killed rises, but surprisingly the number of terrorists killed drops. Now one may argue that correlation is not causation, but when you compare militant casualties across Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones, question emerges. What does that indicate about the state's role in all this? ORFA report's conclusion is dark. In the period of the year when civilians were most severely attacked by terror groups, the security forces remained relatively absent, simply leaving the sheep to the wolves.
Commander is not consistent in his own statement. Yesterday he said a different thing, and today he's giving a different report. What the youth leader said is what he said yesterday, that the Fulani that we are coming here overpower their men and they block their men so they don't have find entrance to this community, and that led to this massacre. So I want to tell you again that I said it yesterday to the GOC, and I'm repeating it today in the hearing of the commander, that his men are busy supporting Fulani.
To the best of my knowledge, this place has had and has been under attack since 1996. But this particular one beats my imagination. Sometime in the past, we have asked if the soldiers will not protect us. Leave us alone and see if we can fight back. Otherwise, it does not make sense. You are said to come and defend this people, and the people are being killed right under our nose.
The security administration up here, they are here. This is the road security. This is the church. Almost getting to 1 hour, they are trying to have access to this church, and security are here. We are all hidden. We just hide. So they just give it back up. I'm an eyewitness. So they started the active operation around 3:30 p.m. That's Tuesday. Honestly, they are falling houses. Some are going there with their machete. Some with gun, shooting people. Some with carpet spraying on houses. When they shoot, the fire just burns. Honestly, they are just watching it. Nothing happened.
The religion factor surfaces when you analyze how Christian and Muslim captives at the hands of the terror groups were treated differently. Survivors and families of victims reported forced labor, sexual violence, executions, and religious tests. ORFA's report includes testimonies where bandits asked the villagers to recite the Quran. Sounds familiar? Those who couldn't were presumed to be Christians and taken captive. In another instance in Zangon Kataf, southern Kaduna, Christian women were asked to convert to Islam because, as the herdsmen claimed, Muslims would soon overrun Nigeria. Later, as the women refused, they were raped and taunted that the Jesus or God of the Bible could not answer their prayers against them being raped. The full picture reveals a chilling, systematic campaign of ethnic cleansing aimed at driving Christians from their ancestral lands. Despite all the atrocities, the Biden administration in 2023 removed Nigeria from the country of particular concern list. Or do we pin the blame on Kamala Harris? Now, who are these terror groups and what is their agenda? You have definitely heard about the Boko Haram and ISIS, the ideological armed groups seeking to create a state based on their interpretation of the Islamic law. Though the northern 12 states, which are Muslim majority, already have Sharia law enforced. In 2022, an atheist called Mubarak Bala was sentenced to 24 years in prison for a Facebook post that deemed blasphemous. There are also intermittent cases of deadly mob lynching against people accused of blasphemy in Muslim majority North. In 2022, Christian student Deborah Samuel Yakubu was stoned to death by her fellow Muslim students at her college campus in Sokoto for protesting religious posts in WhatsApp study group. But just Sharia is also not enough. In 12 years, 350,000 people were killed in the conflict with Boko Haram by 2021. Though we all know about Boko Haram, but the deadliest killers are the armed Fulani herdsmen and their affiliated bandits. The Fulani ethnic militia is a Muslim militant group responsible for most violent attacks in Nigeria's Middle Belt and Northwest regions. What is their ideology or what is their goal exactly? Some analysts cite the vision of Usman Dan Fodio, a Fulani radical Islamic scholar who began an Islamic jihad in Kobir in 1804 and by 1808 had established the Sokoto Caliphate. He vowed to enforce Islam through the power of sword from the Sahara Desert in the north to the Atlantic Ocean in the south. And their number speaks for themselves. In just 4 years, 3,079 civilians were killed by Boko Haram and its offshoot ISWAP, Islamic State in Western African province, 23,987 by Fulani, and 80% of the Christians massacred were also killed by Fulani ethnic militias. So why does no one talk about it? Obviously, it raises fewer eyebrows when black people are being killed in a distant African continent. I asked you a question at the beginning of the video. The deadliest region on this planet, remember? It's not Afghanistan, it's not Iraq, it's not Middle East. According to a report from the Global Terrorism Index, Africa's Sahel region, a narrow belt of 10 countries, including Nigeria, faces more deaths and destruction from Islamic terror groups than the rest of the world combined. The point is, a lone wolf attack in Manchester or Berlin or New York or Boston receives more global concern than a prolonged sectarian massacre in Africa.
Warrior every day, and they expect us to silence. Nigerian government came out openly and denied there is no massacre, there is no genocide of Christians in Nigeria. And look at it today. They are killing Christians in Nigeria. Massacre Christians.
The systematic massacre of Christians in Nigeria could be a multifaceted, complex issue of resources, but narrowing it down to a classic farmer versus herdsman conflict, worsened by environmental degradation, purposefully hides the communal intent behind the killings. Intent, which is the single most crucial word in the definition of genocide. Thank you for watching.